Works For You starts right now.
I'm never going to forget that in my mind. You know, it's going to replay over and over.
4 dead, dozens hurt, and tonight, a suspect charged with murder.
She doesn't remember a whole lot about what happened. In my opinion, Miss Chambers suffers from a mental illness.
After the tragedy in Stillwater, Oklahoma unites to remember the victims.
We joined together, and even if you didn't know the people, this is what we do.
Good evening, and thanks for staying up late with us. I'm Brian Sanders. Karen is off tonight. We begin with new developments in the tragedy in Stillwater. A vigil just wrapped up for 4 people killed and 47 others injured yesterday when a car crashed into a crowd at OSU's homecoming parade. The suspect, 25-year-old Adacia Chambers, is now charged with 4 counts of second-degree murder. Police arrested her for driving under the influence. We're still waiting for the results of the toxicology test, but Chambers' lawyer says he doesn't think she had been drinking or taking drugs at the time of the crash. He believes she's mentally ill.
I was not satisfied at all that I was communicating with a competent individual. I am not a psychiatrist, nor am I a psychologist. However, I'm currently representing several with mental illnesses, and in my opinion, Ms. Chambers suffers from a mental illness.
Chambers' first court appearance is set for tomorrow morning. 2 Works For You reporter Giselle Puente will keep you updated live here on 2 Works For You starting at 5 a.m. The OSU campus pulled together tonight in the wake of the tragedy. 2 Works For You anchor Stephen Romo continues our team coverage with how they're coping.
Yeah, Brian, this entire place out here was filled with students just over an hour ago. People praying, trying to make sense of what happened. When something awful like this happened, it can be very confusing. It's definitely heart-wrenching. They're trying to make sense of it. They're praying for the victims and for that suspect.
When you experience trauma, you just want to be together.
Matt Mills is a campus minister at OSU. He says he didn't set out to plan a large vigil, but so many people wanted to gather.
You just want to be next to somebody, want to be able to voice what you saw, what you heard, and want to try to make sense of it.
Making sense of the crash that killed these 4 people, not an easy task. The youngest victim, Nash Lucas, just 2 years old. The others, Nikita Prabhakar, Bonnie Stone, and Marvin Stone, all being remembered and prayed for tonight. And so is Adacia Chambers, the driver of the car, now held on 4 counts of second-degree murder.
End of the day, hurt people, and she made a few bad choices, and even today I've heard and seen on Facebook lots of prayers for the driver.
Matt says it's understandable that so many people are feeling anger toward Adacia, but these vigil goers are trying to focus on the healing.
It goes to show you that nothing can really break this family here at OSU. So.
Now, with these unexpected and traumatic deaths, there are, of course, funeral costs, unexpected funeral costs for those families. They are funds that are being set up to try to help them with those costs. You can find out more about them on our website, kjrh.com. Stephen Romo, 2 Works For You.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. 1 man injured in the crash talked today about his brush with death. Mark McNitt was watching the parade with his wife, his mother, and his stepfather. He says he felt a gush of wind and then a loud noise.
The only thing I could relate it to is maybe of some type of bombing or something. It just, nobody knew what was going on. And all we were really concerned with was our family and friends and everybody that was injured.
McNitt's stepfather, 54-year-old Leo Schmitz, is in critical condition. McNitt and his mom have some bruises, but are otherwise okay. Several crash victims are still recovering tonight at area hospitals, some right here in Tulsa. 2 Works For You reporter Nathan Edwards is monitoring their conditions for us tonight. Nathan?
Well, Brian, 3 of the crash victims are being treated here at St. John Medical Center. Last time I checked, 1 is in critical condition, 1 is in stable, and 1 is in fair. But tonight, I want to tell you about an Oologah woman's fight for her life. Sherry Bates is being treated in Oklahoma City. She was injured while watching her daughter march with the Oologah band in the parade. Members of her church tonight visiting her in the hospital. Her minister says she's in critical but stable condition and is asking for prayers.
We have people in Arkansas and Texas, Tennessee, Alabama, they're all praying that just because we're all friends of friends of friends, and so that it's helped immensely knowing that there are so many people that are praying.
Sherry had surgery this morning to remove a blood clot. Her brain is still bruised, but her husband briefly told me over the phone she is doing better tonight. As soon as we learn more about Sherry's condition, we'll update you online and on air. Live in Midtown Tulsa tonight, Nathan Edwards, 2 Works for You.
Now to an update on a 7-year-old Skiatook girl injured in the crash. Some good news here. Madison Atwell's aunt tells 2 Works for You her niece is in very high spirits. Madison was up and moving around this afternoon. She's been reading. Her little sister came to visit. No word on when she'll be released from the hospital, though. Meantime, heartbreaking news. The mother of 2-year-old Nash, who is recovering from her injuries tonight. Nash, though, was the youngest to die in the crash. His mother is a student and employee at OSU. Dr. Marvin Stone and his wife Bonnie were also killed. Both worked at OSU. 65-year-old Marvin was a retired professor. Those who knew the couple say they're relying on prayer and faith to overcome this.
OSU, Stillwater lost just a remarkable couple in Marv and Bonnie.
Bonnie worked for the university for more than 33 years. The 4th person killed in the crash was Nikita Prabhakar. She was working on her MBA at the University of Central Oklahoma. She was at the parade with friends. The suspect in the crash, meanwhile, Adacia Chambers, lives with her boyfriend in Stillwater but is from Oologah. Her father says this is not a hate crime thing that she has done. My daughter is not that kind of person. She is a very caring, loving person. This is just a bad accident. I don't know what happened. Floyd Chambers said he's spoken with his daughter's boyfriend, who said she was home Friday night. Chambers says, like everyone else, his thoughts and prayers are with the victims. The Red Cross is making sure the first responders have what they need to cope with the crash. They're offering emotional support and other services. If your child witnessed the crash or saw the news reports, the Red Cross says you should talk to them about it and reassure them they're safe. A similar incident made headlines last year in Austin. Jury selection begins tomorrow for the man accused of driving drunk through a crowd at the South by Southwest Music Festival. 22-year-old Rashad Owens is charged with capital murder and 24 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after plowing through barricades, killing 4 people and injuring 22 others. As a result, the city of Austin added 60 more officers at closed intersections for the festival this year. Our coverage of the tragedy in Stillwater continues online. You can follow the investigation and see all the stories we've aired. It's all on our website, kjrh.com.
Now, your Storm Shield weather first forecast.
And good evening, everyone. A chilly night out there across green country. When we wake up tomorrow morning, some counties close to the Kansas border and in southeast Kansas may have a little frost on the grass. 48 degrees right now with a light north wind at 5 miles an hour. The relative humidity is 74%. It's 50 at Collinsville, also 50 at Owasso, 50 at Broken Arrow, 53 at Jenks and at Bixby. But look at Bartlesville, already at 40 degrees, and Tahlequah's at 50. You'll notice some warmer temperatures down here to the southeast. In McAllister and Poto, there are clouds down to our southeast, and those clouds are going to keep things a little bit warmer tonight. So here's what we're going to talk about coming up in the forecast. We've got to go over a chilly morning at the bus stops for tomorrow. Patricia's remnants. Remember that big hurricane that moved across Mexico? We're dealing with an impact of the remnants. I'll show you how. And our Halloween outlook. We'll talk about what the forecast will be like for trick-or-treating. Brian?
All right, thanks, Brett. New tonight, Tulsa County Sheriff Stanley Glanz wants to keep his badge and firearm even after he resigns on November 1st. In tomorrow's meeting, county commissioners will vote on whether Glanz will be able to keep his peace officer status after his resignation. Glanz is under indictment after a grand jury investigation into the agency that followed a reserve deputy shooting and killing a suspect in the spring. Regarding tomorrow's vote, Terry Simonson with TCSO said in part it has nothing to do with the sheriff's pension or any other benefits that he may be eligible to receive. Nothing in the law would disqualify the sheriff from retaining his peace officer status. Looking ahead, a Sapulpa man accused of killing his 5-year-old son during a standoff with Tulsa police is expected in court tomorrow. Brian Creech is charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and burglary. His preliminary hearing is scheduled to start at 9 a.m. Still ahead, crafting history in downtown Tulsa.
This is something that the state, really the region, has never seen before.
What inspired the largest collective art project in Oklahoma's history? Plus, a teen's truck gets swallowed by a sinkhole, but he still made it to work. How he managed to escape without a scratch. You're watching 2 Works for You.
Thanks for letting us come into your home each week. I promise you this.